Good morning. It is 6:50 a.m. on Monday, September 11th, 2017. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Boy, until just saying the date there, I had kind of forgotten, September 11th, is a thing. Um, well, that's weird. You know what I mean, I think. I hadn't prepared to talk about that today or anything. Okay, now I'm totally off track. So I guess we're still figuring out how bad the hurricane was. It's still moving through, so I don't know that I have anything to say about that per se. Um, oh man, I actually have things to talk about, you guys, but my brain is spinning up very slowly this morning. Let's see, what did I watch? I watched a number of things. Oh, Bojack Horseman season 4 is now out on Netflix. And that show is kind of a remarkable thing because, on the one hand, obviously it's very silly, this Hollywood parody where, a lot of people are these anthropomorphic animals. Um, and so there's a lot of just silliness and puns and stuff in it. But despite that superficial silliness, that show is such a deep and well explored story about all different kinds of mental illness and dysfunction and personality and psychology and just, you know, it's kind of a remarkable show, honestly. It's not always an easy watch. I think it's frequently very funny alongside with the things that are actually really, awfully sad and dramatic, but well told. Um, it's really good, but boy, I could totally see it not being for everybody. And season 4, I think, continues the trend of it being great. So big thumbs up for season 4 of BoJack Horseman if you are already familiar with the show. If you're not, then you shouldn't start with season 4. So I would recommend that you start with season 1. I also, boy, I'm sorry, you guys. I feel like I'm a little bit mentally constipated this morning. Hmm. I watched a little bit of the end of Jaws yesterday. It just saw that it was on, and that show is just super watchable. That movie, it's kind of just remarkable how there are some movies that you feel comfortable um, just watching over and over again, even when you could literally just recite all the lines along with the characters. Um, and given that I typically don't rewatch a lot of stuff, especially in the last few years, I've moved away from rewatches of things, except in pretty unusual circumstances. Rare more than unusual. I'm very choosy about it, but every so often, you get that nostalgia bump. Okay, I remember now. The couple of the other things that I had planned to talk about. One was that I finally finished Mass Effect Andromeda, which, in the end, the sum total of it, I really liked it, and um, while I would say I don't think it was as polished as the original trilogy, and maybe it's true that I played it later after many patches had come out, so maybe it was worse when it first released. But overall, I think it's really a shame that the consensus on that game seemed to settle around the idea that it was not good, to the point where they have announced that they're not going to make any DLC or a sequel for it, and that makes the Mass Effect series essentially dead. Which is a bummer because it was definitely better than meriting that, and I would have liked to see more, but what are you going to do? Um, so I liked it a lot in the end. I think it maybe had a few too many side quests that amount to kind of busy work of just, hey, go to here in this place, and then go to there in that place, and then go to here in that place, and it takes 10 seconds to do each thing once you're actually there, so 95% of the time to do that quest is just travel time. So there was a lot of that was not always the best. It kind of artificially inflated the length of the game. But boy, the meat that's there is good, and I love the characters, so thumbs up for that. And then as a much smaller, much more easily consumable game, I played Tacoma, which only takes a few hours to play. Tacoma is a game from the people who made Gone Home, and it's similar in structure in the sense that you are exploring this empty environment and trying to kind of figure out what happened there, and it's just a bunch of environmental storytelling. But it takes place on a space station, and it's got this nifty mechanic where, like, the station, when it's inhabited and occupied, records the body movements of everyone on board. And so when you have gone there later, you are able to watch sort of these reconstructions of certain moments. And so basically, you're trying to figure it out, because what will happen is, let's say a certain scene begins with all the crew members in a row, or in a room rather, having a discussion. But then at some point, they split up, and these two go over there, and these two go down the hall for this other conversation, and so on. And so basically, you by rewinding and fast forwarding and going through it like a VCR, and then following along, in each area to kind of hear every part of the conversation. That's how you gradually uncover the mystery of what happened on the station. And it's, like I said, it's easy to consume in just a few hours. So that's, a nice palate cleanser after a big 80-hour action RPG. And I liked it a lot. I was very satisfied. All right, so now I've got to go ahead and get ready for work. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes.